actually. Oh, what? Oh, there.
Is it, so it's recording?
But you're not gonna wear them.
Okay.
Okay. Call the meeting to order, 2:34, 2:35, pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looking for the flag on the peninsula there?
There are so many flags there to focus on. It was hard for me to keep my attention on one of them.
Okay, roll call, please.
What's he doing? I know.
Mr. Christensen,
Present.
Mr. Ferricks,
Present.
Mr. Robbins, absent, and Mr. Smith.
Present.
I would remind everyone to make sure you speak clearly into your microphones.
Correct.
Correct.
Don't we even acknowledge we have a guest? John Walter, and
Yeah.
we have Scott.
She can acknowledge them in the minutes. We typically
Please
don't.
do.
You don't have to.
Please do. They're on the agenda. They're the lead man here. Okay. Approval of agenda, late additions, deletions, corrections, anything? Anybody
Done.
want to say anything?
Can you take
Can't
your-
hear me?
Can you not wear the mask? Because it's hard to understand.
I cannot wear the mask. But 2 people in my family have COVID,
Uh-huh. Whoa. Well,
but I haven't been around.
okay.
I can tell you I haven't been around.
Is that a
but
threat?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay.
Okay. If that works for you, I'm fine.
It does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just forewarned, told this. Okay. Nothing I hear? Okay, onward, public comment? Just
Well,
I
if
assume
you
nobody's
need
here.
to pass a motion approving the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any objections? No objections, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Public comment now, no public comment. Action items. Approval of the minutes.
Can we
I
defer
assume-
that?
What?
Can we defer that?
That's from September 15th.
Yeah, well, can we defer that until the next meeting?
Sure,
Okay.
deferred. Thank you. Let's not defer anything else. Item number 2, replacement of the grub shack structure. Discussion. Scott and Steve.
Is it gone?
No.
Well, then we can't discuss the new structure. Next item. No, that's not true. Before we start that, tell us why that is not gone. What happened? Update.
The mover has not shown up to claim his building.
So we need to contact Mr. Newman.
Jerry's been
It's ready to go.
contacted.
It's
It's
totally
ready to go. It's been ready to go.
We'll have Chet do it.
We do that? And if not, we'll sell it to somebody else for $1.
Laurel, do you have his phone number handy?
I don't, but I know Chet knows him pretty well. I think he does
Okay.
have the number.
Give that one to Chet.
Cass and Excavating, I think is what it is.
I think there's a,
Cass and Excavating,
Castle Excavator.
Or is it contracting?
the contractor.
Yeah.
No,
Casson Contracting Incorporated.
there's some guy named Mr. Smith sort of interested in that building, so he might take it off your hands, or at least part of it. Who knows? Okay.
Excuse me, I checked the number of sheets of 4x8 reverse spread and plywood, and some of them aren't too good at the bottom, but it was well worth the present cost of plywood at this time to remove it. For free salvage, it was worthwhile.
no.
We'll continue with number 2 with Scott or Steve.
Well, I asked Scott's permission to make a parking lot near the area of the old grub shack to get Phil to put a new structure in a relatively close position. John's been looking at it. John and Don and I kind of walked and talked it. Being that the old building is gone and we really don't have to put it in the same location.
Right.
Because all of the electric and the wells and everything are separate now on their own boards. We're free to put a replacement structure anywhere we want. So we walked the circle, the cul-de-sac circle, and discussed the different areas that might make sense to put a replacement structure. We also talked about the favorite. There were several choices given up several meetings ago. The favorite was the structure that had 4 porta potties under a cover, 3 of them regular, there's Rick, and
Oh, I didn't think he
one,
was gonna be here.
one ADA.
Okay.
So, and then it also had a little storage area attached to it. So we talked about that building and maybe placing that building and how the cars could come up to it. And this is did Lori get one? There you go.
I have one for,
Oh, okay.
oh, no, I don't, yeah, I do.
So do we have that digitally, that it can be sent to me? This packet?
Is that digital?
No. it's-
So I could scan it in?
I can give it to you right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
So anyway,
it's a compilation
Answer your
of
question,
several
answer-
things.
To answer your question, Laura, I drew it by hand and pencil.
Okay. No, I just, for retention purposes, I need to digitize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass one over to Rick.
oh, one more for Rick, John.
Are there 2?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure that,
I'll make sure.
Okay, with the handout, we'll have John go through it in a minute, but first page gives you an idea of how this could be structured. Second page is an option with storage and porta-johns. And then some different views of the same. And then option 2 appears farther down the line, and some side views to show how that would look. The more we talked about combining the storage and this structure to have our porta-johns, we talked to Scott independently about, how much area he needs. And then we started thinking about, does his storage actually have to be there? Because what we were gonna do is probably have an office space for Scott and the storage as an element of this separate building. And we walked over to his building, where his office is now, and walked around it. And it looks pretty basic to put a shed roof off the back side, and that would give him storage and an office space, and one wall is already there. So it would be a very economical thing to do for storage and office space. So we thought, well, let's take the storage and office space out of the porta-john cover. So option 2 in the handout has a
Just that.
cement slab walkway under, and then slab under the porta-johns. 1 is ADA and 3 are regular. It makes that building smaller and possibly easier to place. So we talked about having it on the same side of the road as the current shack that's being moved, and placing it in different locations around that cul-de-sac road area. The closer we got uphill, the less fill was needed. And that seemed to be a spot that caught John Walter's eye as fitting the terrain of the land quite nicely. We'd still need quite a bit of fill, and we talked about going across the road and grabbing some fill from that side slope and thereby making some parking area and getting the fill. And all we have to do is bring it across the street. So that's kind of where the discussion revolved for the new structure and for storage and office for Scott. That's kind of where we left it. John, you want to pick up with the handout and kind of fill in the blanks? I know I missed a lot.
Sure. Well, when I look at the three parks, I look at Myles, Kimmerly as having the park that has group activities, the most group activities of any of the three parks. And I would be there when granddaughters have soccer play, and then there are high school or some other people that would play there. So supporting group activities, I thought was a good idea. And the toilets, but also drinking fountains. Yeah, my understanding, are there any real drinking fountains? No, that's right, Scott. So any plan that was drawn showed drinking fountains, and it did show a high-low drinking fountain, meaning that there was a barrier-free drinking fountain and an adjacent drinking fountain. So when we think of, 10 players on a team, and there might be 2 fields, 10, 20, 30, 40, that's 40 children that get done with 2 games and are going to be thirsty, and so the 2 drinking fountains is already a good support. The bathrooms are part of another function that a group activity is going to want to use, and so you have for porta potties, which are easily accessible because they're accessible from different directions. They don't have covers, but the idea was to provide porta potties, and you should do a barrier-free one, which I don't think you have at this time. And the covering was a good thing because if people are lined up or if it's raining, that supports that. The first page you have shows the kind of the first spot we talked about. And if you look at the left hand, if you look at the building, it says FINFLOR, that's a finished floor at an elevation of 98. And if you look at a line close to the left-hand side, there's a number 94. That means that the existing grade is 4 feet lower than the elevation of the building you want to put. So there's an expense of quite a bit of fill. It would be more economical at a different location. Scott and I took elevation shots to establish this. So and I asked Scott a little bit about the storage that got defined at this time on the second sheet as 18 by 22. And there would be storage at that time, desks or shops, but I would look to Scott's input as to location of an office space for him. That's it.
Scott, your turn.
Well, I'm in favor of doing the lean-to. That makes sense. As far as the location of the porta potties, I'm not really clear where you want them, where you're thinking. That was up closer to that small parking area next to the soccer field?
Yeah, where the picnic tables are.
Okay, yeah.
So it's, kind of working your way around that cul-de-sac toward the picnic tables, and the drop-off becomes a lot less once you get up there.
Right. Sounds good. When do we start?
Well, once we have a plan that we really like, everybody approves, we approve of it. I think we can't take it to the Park and Rec Commission until we have some estimates of the cost. So that's the next step. We really have to get some estimates. If we agree to what the plan is gonna be, then we have to cost it out, and then we'll take it to the full Park and Rec Commission. So there's nothing we're gonna take away today to the Park and Rec full committee, I don't think, unless someone feels otherwise. How do we get some good estimates on the price of the shed attached to your building and the structure?
I think if we can lean on John Walter a little bit, we could probably get a parts list. And then square footage of concrete, and then amount of fill pulled from across the street, and what it would take to make that parking versus just a hole.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll have to, it may be that for Scott and I to relook at the elevations of the area where the parking lot was gonna go, because the drive goes by, and then where you wanna park, it kinda has a rise to it, so you're gonna do a cut, but then you have to also slope up, so you don't have any erosion, and it can be mowed. So there's, I don't want the parking lot to cost more than the shed area. So, but yes, I can look at that and get you an idea on cost.
Perfect.
How many yards of fill are you looking at?
I'm sorry?
Steve, I mean, how many yards of fill are you looking at maybe?
How many yards of fill?
Rick, just pull it
I
closer to
didn't look
you.
at that.
Pull your microphone closer to you.
20 times 4. Well, it's going to be about 24 feet times, I can't do it, look at it, because it's a slope. I just know at the far end that you needed 5 feet of fill.
It's gotta be like 3 trucks is 30. So 3 trucks wouldn't do it probably. It'd probably be 50 yards.
I don't know, Steve, I had to,
But you'd want to have, it not just support directly underneath the building, but
Right.
sloping out.
Yes,
And so
that's
I'm
the-
thinking probably 100, 120.
okay,
No way.
Well, it takes some
Don't you think
calculation.
so?
I
Not where
think
they're,
just kind of gut
it's
leveling
not
it.
farther south, no.
Oh,
It's
if you
not
go
that
far enough
south.
up.
Yeah.
Gut leveling it, it seemed like
Yeah.
it would be
No, I
pretty
guess
easy
what
to
I'm
get it right there and then end up
Getting
with some
at
parking.
is,
Right.
I know, I'm not against going across the street, but then once you scar that up, then do we have to put gravel onto, are we gonna have the money to put gravel on that? Would it be better just, Caston's just up the hill, they have all that
That's what I think
reject
too.
sand that they don't use.
Cheaper to buy it.
Probably just, buy it cheaper and get it done, because, I just feel like I said, I think you got a great idea, but it's putting us into another project, and where we're gonna find the money to
yeah.
take care of that parking lot.
That's kind of what John said too, that the parking lot might cost more than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I
I
guess
mean,
I
I'm
guess that could be
I'm all
looked at.
for it, but it just,
Yeah.
we gotta fight for nickels and dimes to,
Yeah.
Might even be able to get Phil from the road commission. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they're not that far away and they're always
yeah.
messing with soils. Okay, well, there's several options. Yeah,
So we have to cost out 2 things, the shed attached to your garage on the left-hand side. You mentioned to me something about maybe you wanted it at a different place other than on the left. Have you thought about that more?
No, that's fine.
That's good there?
Yeah.
Okay, because it has openings already and everything, so it works fine. But if we're gonna do it, you might as well do it right. So you can't come back in a month and complain. Okay, so we'll cost out that, I get an idea for that. And we'll cost out the porta potties with the universal access and the slab on that. And the location won't change the price of that. And then the third cost is gonna be the leveling and the road commission, blah, 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 and all that. So 3 things we have to work on. Okay. The grub shack isn't gone yet, by the way. You missed that part. But it will be gone. We keep saying it will be gone, it will be gone.
I'll have Chet follow up with the guy.
But is everything on hook?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of ready to go.
I mean, I can call Tim and see.
You know,
Yeah,
be
Yeah,
nice.
Jerry's been trying to, he's been calling him, but,
yeah, he's probably, well, I think I just read that
yeah, he's probably doing Fish Town.
he's over at Fishtown helping them with Carlson Building.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, he'll do it, but, I mean, to be on the safe side, it'd probably be spring.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter now, it's,
Yeah.
everything's done, so I can,
Yes, it does matter. We want a victory before the end of the year. I want a victory
well, it'd be
before
nice to have it
Halloween.
gone tomorrow, but it's really not hurting anything sitting there, so.
Well, actually, while it's sitting there, it might be pilfered, so you might be.
Early spring at the latest, because we still have to hook up the water.
Problem is, if you want it right away, it's gonna cost you about $3.55.
Instead of one.
I mean, it was, well, maybe it's changed in the last hour.
Triple the cost.
You're talking inflation now, I say, okay. Okay, anything else about the new structure? Or the changes on what we're doing? We all agree with that? We don't need to vote on that or anything? Is there
Well,
any
it's kind of like a
disagreement?
progress report.
Excuse me?
It's like a progress report.
Okay. Okay, our next item is, Rick is on. It's the paved trail discussion. Does you have a handout for that too? If I can find it.
I'll come back again for it.
I did put in for, was the only thing I really had for my list. I'm just gonna support the other commissioners on their stuff.
Thanks, John.
I did put for my relief project, my priority was, I asked for 250 and I think Chip put 260 down for, relief money maybe for the loop trail. So,
Yeah. What you were gonna put it on over in Leelanau or on Facebook?
I did, and then it
Some
just,
feedback?
you got some feedback, and then people just started like picking everything apart, and I just took it off.
Okay, you did
I
that.
mean, I started getting good feedback, but then everybody just,
Can you see it?
you try to do something good, and,
No good deed goes
Yeah.
unpunished.
yeah.
Yeah, but if they're negatives, we want to hear about it.
No, it wasn't so much negative towards the trail, it was just stupid comments,
Really? Okay. Nothing you want to share?
No, I mean, it was
Okay.
nothing, just,
You took it off.
Was that on Facebook?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was on Facebook, and it's like, hey, I'm not dealing with it.
My thought is.
Keyboard warriors,
What's that?
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It seems like a good project. It's very popular in other places where the density of the population is a little more than it is where we are. And you don't want to build something at a cost. And I think I'm, being the devil's advocate here because I favor it. But if you build something or you suggest we're going to build something, people might come back and say, well, why are you going to spend all this money when very few people will use it? Because we don't have a dense population like they do in Grand Traverse or like they do out in Garfield Township. So we have to think about that, that's all.
Well, I think, do they have one down at Glen Lake Schools now? A walking path? With all that
I
big.
think so, but I don't know how long it is.
And that's what I see, it's like,
Yeah,
it's too bad the schools and us couldn't have worked a little better, closer together, because
yeah.
we're trying to accomplish now everything that they've just spent big bucks on.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw their $3 million playground.
But have you drove in there?
Yeah, but all that tennis courts and stuff, that wasn't part of the 3 million.
No, but I mean, have you been in there like in the last, I mean, it's like going into a national park.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
just thought 3 million. Whoa.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I feel they have everything that we should have had down
I
at
agree.
Myles.
Yeah. Yep.
Where is this in relationship to Myles?
Like about 3 miles, if that,
What are you talking about? What's it-
Glen Lake Schools.
What is it? Oh, Glen Lake Schools.
So if that's open to the public and they have something like that, are we barking up the wrong tree by even considering this?
I don't know. You ought to, next time you
It's-
get down there, you ought to drive through there and see.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden and stuff. I don't know. I don't know that the general public's gonna
Yeah,
see it as a park kind of atmosphere. I don't know. I'd feel weird about going to a school and having my kids,
Yeah.
just stopping by. I don't know. That's just me, but
but I mean, I was looking at, it's like, on the soccer field, we have one of the nicest soccer fields there. It's like, why didn't the high school just work with us and they could have played their high school games there?
right. Yeah, they had money to spend.
Yeah,
But the point is, they didn't, so that's, you can't look in the past, you have to, what does the future hold for us?
I mean, when
since
you
they
drive
didn't?
through there, it looks like a Division III college complex.
Oh, yeah. It's,
About what
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, they have money to spend.
So given that, what do we feel, how should we approach our trail, our loop trail?
I think we still need to move forward on the, what we talked about, the half loop or whatever that measured out to, 3/4 of a mile or
There
5/8
are-
a mile, whatever.
I'm sure there are still a lot of people who drive past Myles and are immediately, oh, I can do this here.
Yeah,
And that, you're not gonna necessarily see that if
No.
you're driving by the school.
yeah. No, I agree. It's,
I don't know what their rules are. Schools all have rules about
yeah,
usage.
Behind the building?
But one thing that we haven't done yet, we decided that we could nibble away at this, which
Right.
I think is a great idea, because the whole cost is pretty large. But we need something to show a excavation company, this is what we want.
Well,
We
you
really
should-
don't, we really don't have that, like a cross-section and a plan of how this is gonna be. And it seemed like at one point in my mind, there were a couple ways to go at that. One was to have some cross sections in, say, 10 locations, and then a distance, and have a bid happen on that. And the other way was to have a complete plan done, engineered plan, and then pick a piece of the engineered plan and have that bid. So we don't have anything for someone to bid on at this point in my mind. Laurel?
You really should have an overall plan, so then you can phase it out into
Yeah.
however you want to, especially if you want to do this, your quote-unquote nibbling. So if you have the plan, you've identified any potential concerns that you can address going into this. It's, I think, a good example of having a good plan was the Veronica Valley upgrade around that pond. You didn't know until they didn't know until they got there that there was a concern with that fabric and that they had to redo some stuff. And so then we had a change order for $500, which quite frankly were pretty, 5,000. So, yeah. So it's things like that that kind of bring home that you should have a good plan and you've identified anything that could be a concern. Because there's nothing the board hates more than surprise bills.
We're pretty good at that.
I have thoughts about usage of the trail, and maybe if we're gonna nibble at this, it might be a nice thing for just in-house. I think if it wants to be a universal access and for a wheelchair, all that, it should be a flat surface, no matter where we do it. So we'll do a flat surface and just make a trail, like you started to do, Scott, with cleaning the grass out and everything. And maybe we should just make that trail out of no stone, nothing else, maybe some wood chips or something like that, and see what people do with it.
Well,
And
I've mowed it and people are walking it now and I'll be grooming it as soon as we get snow. So,
it's a whole loop.
yep. Well, it's undefined once it gets past the road.
I think I was out there, I looked for it, and I must say, I didn't see it, so I didn't know how to look for it, obviously.
see, I'm
I
not
saw it.
I looked high and low, but I didn't.
I saw it from the road. At 50 miles an hour, I can see it. There it is. I didn't walk it, but I saw it.
Well,
Looks nice.
yeah, can we come back to the grub shack for just a moment? Something that we might want to try for is right away figure out where the location's going to be and get the dirt down. Reason being, then it gives it a lot of time to settle, and the building won't be, and it'll also be less of a hit the next time around. Is that a possibility? So we could kind of move ahead on just that foundation area?
For sure, if the road commission comes through and gives us the dirt.
Okay, so what we would have to do is figure out exactly where we want to be and how much dirt it's going to take, and then move on that, because it'd sure be nice to have that established and settled, and then next year, then we start with the project. That's just a thought.
Every time, sure.
Well, we have to remember that we are also a recommending body to the board. So if this goes over X amount of money, then it's got to go to the board for approval. So we should always remember that.
Right, and that X amount of money that we have to work with without going to the board would be how much? Would we, if we can get it done for less than $5,000, get the established, yes,
2,000.
I'm sorry?
2,000.
2,000, okay. Well, if we can get it done for less than 2,000, get the dirt in there and get it packed down, at least get the dirt there and get it smoothed out. It just seems like it wouldn't be a bad
But
idea.
the problem is if you do that and then it doesn't get approved, you spent $2,000 for a nice
You got a
flat
flat
surface in a
surface,
field. So.
Am I wrong in thinking the road commission has fill that they want to get rid of? And they would give it to us, there's no charge for that.
Right. Which
Well, they're not
is,
gonna give it to us,
Really?
but we'll get it pretty cheap.
They gave me a bunch free.
It depends what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
But then you gotta look at too, what kind of fill you get.
Right.
If you're gonna put a building there, they could give you a bunch of junk that.
yeah, a bunch of sod.
Yeah,
and
you don't
crap.
want it,
That
yeah.
Yeah, I
Scoured out
got,
a
they were
culvert.
digging up a road and I got a lot of loads from,
Yeah, is that when they were doing, Alpine?
uh-huh,
Yeah, that's a lot of clay too.
yeah, which was great.
Yeah, but we don't want clay on a cement slab.
Well, it's not so much clay, but there was a lot of gravel in it.
Yeah.
Not clay, but there was a lot of gravel in it, and it worked. It worked well for me.
Well, John's getting numbers
Mm-hmm.
and placement, and he's gonna work with Scott as far as placement goes and do some measuring and calculations. And that should give us enough information to go to the next step. I think doing something right now before John gets back might be premature.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
But on the
Okay.
trail, I agree with Laurel. I mean, we gotta come up with the final plan
Right.
where we want it, but I guess if we do get the money, I mean, because I don't know how far the money's gonna take us. I don't know, 250,000 may only take a quarter mile, I don't know. But today's prices, a year from now, maybe it may be different, maybe higher, who knows? But I mean, it would be nice, like when we were up there this summer, if we could at least get we know where the first half is gonna go, pretty much. And the other half would kind of connect where you've been mowing, but at least from, I think you were there that day, start up at the park there, and at least work our way down to, if we can get money-wise, get down to where the golf thing is in that area there. But I don't know if 250,000, like I said,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we have a plan, then we can choose a section. Maybe we break the plan into 3 sections and get somebody working with us to give us an idea, ballpark, how much money per section, or something like that. At least we
Problem
have
is,
something that, we have a starting point. there.
right, but what's the plan gonna cost us?
It's gonna be several grand, probably, a couple grand.
Yeah,
What if we
But I
got a
still-
hold of someone like Ron Brown and Sons? They're always way cheaper than Elmer's. They
Yeah.
might
I
be
mean,
able to
this
help
isn't
out
rocket
somehow.
science. We want a loop trail on flat, so it's universal access. It's gotta be so wide. You can mow that, I assume, and create it on your own in-house without anybody.
It's already done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
gonna come and see it with you. I want to, because I really was out there and I didn't, where is it? Because everything's mowed, so I, where does it go? I didn't get the start of it.
Then we gotta be careful too, where you mowed, what's the future plans of the park for that area?
Right,
Before we put a path out there,
yeah.
what's our 10-year plan for that area?
That's true.
So I figured I'd just mow it, and if it works out, it works out. If
Yeah.
not, let the grass grow.
That's why I just-
It,
Been pushing for, get the main area
yeah,
around that I think would get used to, and plus, this is how I look at it, and I'm probably wrong, but if we get that area done, it would give us more leverage with the board to say, geez, look at what the people are, they're using this, like, give us the money to finish it.
So you're talking about a loop around the soccer field.
It would start up at the park, it'd go down by the grub shack, where it used to be down by the baseball, am I right, Scott? Somewhere we looked at,
yeah.
and then parallel Burdickville Road, and then stop down by the,
Can you draw it where it is on this map?
there, I can show you.
I'm lost.
Okay,
Here's
all right, it's gonna start. This is what I'm looking at.
I want to see what Scott is doing.
All right, this is the, oh, wait a second. Am I looking at this right?
No, you're upside down.
Okay, where's the upper parking lot?
We are at 311 too, by the way.
This isn't, this is something different. I'm not focusing in on it,
I'm
right?
not seeing
Neither
it
am I,
either.
neither am I.
Is that
Here's
good?
the ball fields. This is.
Okay, this is better.
This is,
This is good.
Okay, I don't wanna mark.
That's all right,
this is nursing home.
yeah.
Yeah, where, okay, right here.
Here's the entrance.
So this
right
is,
there.
You
this
start-
is the path design.
Right.
The dotted line is the latest iteration from,
What I,
no, this is from Gosling.
yeah.
What's
What
his
I was
name?
looking at,
Klaus.
Here's the
that would
entrance.
keep, it would- this path here would keep everything away from the traffic. You wouldn't have to cross over a road. We'd start here where we were this summer, go down here, come down here by the grub shack, go down to the ball diamond, and then come right out here and stop right about right there for now. I think
Well, actually, this is paved all the way.
This has a little elevation
it
to
is
it.
paved.
Yeah, it's paved from here to here already.
Oh, okay, so if we could get down in this area, I don't know what, cost-wise, but, we'd keep everything, you wouldn't have the public crossing over any road on the path. Everything would be staying inside with the soccer fields.
I haven't done the distance, but I went up here, through here, kind of snakes through here, goes in front of the septic fields, and straight across here and all the way down here.
Where did you actually pave it? This is all cut already.
That's the road.
Where did you actually,
It's
That's-
paved, it's
that's-
paved from right here, in
Right.
between the two ball fields to the.
okay. And where did
Where that park is, where that park is?
where did you cut the new path?
It goes this way.
Yeah.
Through here.
Oh, it goes up through there and then, okay. This goes up high. So we're not keeping it on flat land, really.
I tried to keep it as flat as I could, but you can't.
There's no flat land there, though.
Is this okay for a wheelchair? It's not
Yeah.
that much of a
The
slope.
wheelchair people can go here and come back.
That's true.
They don't have to challenge, they don't have to go the hills,
Good point.
unless they want to.
Yeah.
The
It's
only
still,
big hill is right here.
right, that loop down.
Yeah, and it's not that bad. I kind of brought it down along, it's like a gully, kind of keep it low because, frankly, I can't groove on steep stuff, so.
That's a pretty good idea. I
If we
mean,
do this,
Keep it where you can grow.
yeah, if we keep this area, and then if we can get this area started and finished, then we'd have to look at this area and see if we'd want to keep the path on the perimeter, so we're not interfering with, if we were to pave it.
And I tried to keep
Right.
it a little far in,
Yeah.
just because of the neighbor here.
Yeah,
Did you estimate, it's going by the driving range, so,
right now,
right now,
kinda.
it is.
Well, some interesting elements, as we start talking about this, the driving range comes in, the neighbors come in, what are we gonna do with that? And obviously, this plan, is obsolete and we're into another idea section. We really need to upgrade our plan, I
It's
think.
kinda like the Cass Hartman Bridge.
Well, don't get me started on that.
And then, about the time you find money, you change the plan again.
35 years later.
Yeah.
Did you estimate this out, this comes out to about a mile?
It'd be more, that'd probably be more.
Well,
If we, yeah, what,
I haven't.
Okay.
We could take 50 grand and have a new assessment done.
Rob Herman be able
Like
to
the
estimate
grass
that
part.
real quick for us, Rob would,
Yeah.
could Rob do that?
sure.
I got a GPS tracker on my phone and I
Mhm.
plot
Well, you
it
could
out,
do
and
it, but
he-
Rob can look on the computer and just
and
do
he
it.
plots it on drawings.
I guess
Work
one-
together on it.
One of the, we got a couple things going, a plan for the trail, the walking loop trail. And then the other thing is the plan for the park. Do we want to hire the Goslings that are still there and have them do a redo of the plan to start and then get a plan for the walking loop? I don't know exactly who's on first, what should we do first, I guess is the question.
You just did this a year ago.
Well, another thing that we came up with that day, if you remember, when we thought about putting it down here, then we have those old barricades that's gotta come out
That's
too.
right.
That's where I ran it for the skiing, it's right along this barricade.
On the inside?
Yeah, I came up this way, and then like between the bathrooms and up this way. And it didn't, because this is going up through the woods.
Yeah,
We could have,
Start here and have them
we
redesigned.
could have the person that Klaus left in charge, so to speak, he retired. We could have the guy that is there now come and
I
do a
suspect
song
this-
and dance and
this will
give us
have
an
to-
idea.
This will have to go up for bids.
True, but he could give us a song and dance as to what it would involve and how much it would cost. He might be able to come and give us some info for free,
Mhm. Doesn't hurt to have.
or not, I don't know, we could just go out for bids for a redo.
or, another thing too is, I have to go back out there and look at it. Keep a walking trail paved within this parameter here, and then we can have these others and just have them be natural trails.
Not paved, yeah.
And not have this be, it doesn't
The whole
have,
thing doesn't have to be paved.
and it doesn't have to be a mile.
Right. You can do two,
We
If it's a half,
could
do it-
have the
do it
walking
twice.
one,
Yeah, if it's a half mile, do it twice. Get your
Yeah.
miles, yeah. All
I
good.
tried for a mile just because.
yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, but, um,
Might be nice not having to cross the road, but I don't see a big deal. It's just an entranceway and
well,
can easily,
You don't want to cross.
you don't want to, because, when you're at the,
People will haul ass.
when you're at the Civic Center
Yeah, okay.
and Travers there, when you come off of Titus Street, it crosses in the back there, and when we used to train there, it's just dangerous, even though the cars are going slow, because you're getting people that are coming 55 miles an hour off this
So
road,
this is
turning
out,
in.
this is out, that whole area.
Yeah, but right here, this is Spark Vertic Road up here, so you're getting somebody that's going 55 coming in, making,
minimum.
yeah.
Not on the
We've
truck.
had- we've had-
Well, on your bike.
No, they're driving by though.
No, that's true. yeah.
We've had some issues of, speed on the entrance road up to the upper parking and back down. We've had some issues.
Oh, I agree then. And if you put it right along here, they're gonna say, you're gonna have to have a barrier for.
No, I don't think you need a barrier, I mean, you have some natural barrier there now.
Let's put it in close.
There's trees and that.
I like it. Well, we should wind up here. Laurel's gonna get on us here.
I am.
Yes. Okay, any closing comments? We have to follow this agenda. I'm getting into trouble here. Public comment, nobody's here. Oh, there's a gentleman back there, that's Todd, okay, he doesn't count. Public comment, none, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second, thank you. We're done.
Aye.
Aye, go ahead, vote on it.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
So we made some progress, but we're not ready for prime time yet.